This video is brought to you by our Patreon page. Help us grow and keep creating great content by supporting us on Patreon.
Hey, welcome to Kala Yoga. My name is Kyle and welcome to the mobility series. Something a little bit different today, but we're going to be focusing on our hips. We're going to work through 5 really effective exercises, something that I've used to really create some range and motion in my hips. And I've really been sort of researching and getting more interest in the mobility realm. It's similar, but we're really going to be focusing and working into a specific area, and this video is our deep hips. And I can tell you that if you do this class or this exercise routine just 1 time per week, you're going to find yourself really loosening up and creating more range in the hips. And I've had a lot of success with just these simple exercises, just using the breath to get deep into the practice. And if you are feeling a little bit tight today, I'm going to encourage you to get hold of some blocks or just a really firm pillow. I'll show you how to use it. It just helps a lot with getting deeper into your practice. And if you are new to the channel, I create a variety of different yoga series based on different colors. This is a mobility series where I'm focusing on different areas of the body, and each video is a specific area. And if you'd like to join in and not miss out on any of the classes, you are more than welcome to hit the subscribe button. The support goes a long way in this channel and for this community. Otherwise, when you're ready, you can grab your mat and let's begin. Okay, welcome back. So we're going to begin today in a little warm-up, which is a malasana. We're going to kind of start off with like a little bit of motion, so have your legs nice and wide, feet slightly tilted in, so you're looking to line the edge of your foot with the edge of your mat, and you'll find that the one kind of veers in a little bit. So we're going to bring the weight into the heels, bend the knees, and the idea is that we're going to place the hands onto our knees like so, and then shift the weight back. You're going to try and bring your hips straight down to the ground, opening up your chest, and we're going to kind of rock from left to right. I also like to add in a little bit of stretch. Although we are working into the hips, it's nice to kind of work some sort of range and motion into your spine as well. Again, shifting the weight lower, you kind of want to build up the heat and warm the body up, so you're going to have to work into the muscles, sitting down. And I'm going to encourage you throughout these practices to kind of feel into your own body. Some exercises may not feel good, some may feel better. There may be a difference between your left and your right side, your sort of strong and your dominant side and your less dominant side. So what I like to do, and I find a lot of sort of success in this, is when you start with your tight side, then work to the left, to the looser side, and then back to the tight side. So then you kind of give the one side the tension that it needs. Okay, so we're going to work a little bit lower, getting your hands onto the ground. You can use your blocks to support you if you need, placing them on a height that feels good. You've got a variety of different heights here, so don't be shy to kind of experiment. You can use the hands to support you. We're going to just shift the weight down, and I want you to walk your heels a little bit closer, and we're going to make our way into a malasana. So dropping the weight into the heels and opening up into the hips. Now, you can come up onto the balls of the feet if that feels good. You can also place the blocks underneath your feet, underneath your heels. So give that a try. This is a nice way, even if you have flexibility in this area and this specific exercise doesn't feel too bad, you can drop the weight into the heels and really look at opening up. It just kind of works in a little bit deeper. And from here, we're going to add a little rotation again, bringing it in. And again, although this is a mobility series and not necessarily like a flow, I'm still going to encourage you to use your breath, moving from one side to the next, using the full breath and keeping your attention embodied. So specifically with, sorry, my words are nowhere today, specifically with the hip area, you store a lot of emotion. So whatever comes up for you, that's totally fine. The idea is just to kind of be with your experience without judgment and still keeping your attention embodied. So from here, another thing what you can do is, which is quite nice when you work into the hips, is open up the chest and the spine. So you can place your right elbow into your knee, place it onto the ground, and then open up into the chest. Kind of moving over to the other side, peeling the chest open, feeling a stretch along the spine. If you need to, you can always come up onto the ball of the foot just to give a bit of relief. And then again, work this way here, shifting the weight over And again, like in the name, we're just mobilizing the body. Now, from here, we're going to release into a lizard lunge to the top of your mat. So place your foot to the outside of your mat and have your right hand on the inside. This is a lizard lunge or a runner's lunge in some sort of fields. So placing your hands down, again, noticing whether your hand is on the outside or the inside. And your blocks can be modified like so, placing them in a height that feels good, higher if needed. The idea is that you want to keep your chest open and lead the hips forward and down. If you'd like to deepen your stretch, you can always come down onto your elbows. But again, I'm going to encourage you just to breathe, full length breath. And another thing you can do is add a little bit of movement. So rotating from left to right. Left is a little bit tight, but to the right hand side may feel good. Dipping in, also opening up the chest. Placing it back down with the exhale, coming down. You could also add a little bit of movement where you open the chest with your inhale and exhale to deepen. You can see if you can roll onto the outside, the outer blade of the foot, dipping the chest down towards the foot, which also feels good for me. But again, your body is different to everyone else's, so see what feels good here. And kind of explore into the realm of mobility and motion just to see what feels good. And kind of cultivate the love for movement and what it feels like to be with your own breath in your own practice. From here, we're going to release. Just shift the weight back. We're going to twist towards the back of the mat. Now having the left leg on the outside, left hand on the inside of the left foot and place the hands down. Again, find the variation that feels good for you. Close your eyes perhaps and breathe into your experience. Perhaps opening up into your chest. Inhale to open and reach through the fingers. Exhale to place it down. And I'm going to be releasing a few hip mobility classes, so you can kind of experiment with putting together a little sequence of your own. And the idea with the channel is to really develop into your own personal self-practice. And if some feel really good, then you can sort of add those in, and if some don't, you can always come back to them later. And another nice thing I like to do is at the end of your practice or at the end of your side, see if you can take a nice deep breath in, and as you exhale, go right to the edge, hold for perhaps 5 seconds to begin with, and then 6 the next day, 7 or 10 seconds, really going up to your threshold, but not too far, just finding that sort of coming up to that point, holding and breathing and getting comfortable with that discomfort. But generally, it's your body's tension that's holding you back, and you must allow your breath to ease and relax in. You can generally go a little bit further than what you think you can. And released, shift the hips back nice and safely. We're going to make our way down onto the ground. Now we're going to do a seated twist, and I'll show you with the block first, so you can sit on the block to begin with. Anything that gets you off the floor makes life a little bit easier. Take your one knee and place it over. I'm going to start with my left, and right leg goes over. And the idea is that we're going to be working into the outside of the glutes again, which helps with the hip mobility. You want to squeeze your knee in towards your chest, sit up nice and straight, and hold and breathe. Now, I also like to add a bit of a twist. That's also not necessary. Again, just working in the length. Inhale to lengthen, exhale, slight twist to deepen. And if you'd like to deepen, you can always just remove the block, making sure that your both sitting bones are on the ground. And within your mobility sort of area, you can work on strengthening the opposite muscle. So you would always add a bit of resistance and then deepen. So what you can do with this exercise is you can push into your arm. So push away, feel the muscle fire up on your right hip, and then relax to pull in and deepen. So you can inhale to push, exhale to relax and breathe. Nice. And you can release, switch the legs out. If you'd like to, you can always just window wipe it to release the leg. And switch them out. Place the other leg, or my right leg to begin with. Left leg goes over. Wrap around. You want to squeeze in to lift up and out of your chest. And if you'd like to add a little rotation to the spine, you can do so. Inhale to lift, exhale to twist and deepen. And again, if you'd like to add some resistance, you can inhale to push against the arm, resisting, feeling the opposing muscle fire up, and then exhale to twist and deepen. So often you need that compressed muscle to pull you in, so you need to strengthen it. So instead of just stretching the outside, you're also going to strengthen in on the inside. And you can release, window wipe your legs just to offer a bit of relief. And from here, we're going to work a little bit deeper, crossing the left leg, and we're going to stack the right leg over the left. You want to get them in line as much as possible, but if they're out wide, that's totally fine. If you have your block, you can place it underneath to find a bit of relief. You can even stack them up too high and slowly reduce them. And the idea is, even if it's like so, we're going to walk our hands forward and work deep into the outside. So again, the full expression would be to make sure that your feet are in line and your knees are in line and your both sitting bones are on the ground. And you walk your hands out in front of you to a comfortable, breathable spot. Now you want to inhale to open up the chest, get the belly moving forward, and exhale to deepen, keeping yourself nice and straight and your chest open. If you're kind of bending over like this, you're only really stretching your back. So inhale to open up the chest, and as you exhale, fold at the crease of your hips. This is called seat of fire. It is very strong, but the idea is that you kind of keep your sensation in the hips, or keep your attention in your hips. I'm sure you'll feel them, but allow your exhale to release. So really just ease into it, be with the discomfort, and notice with every exhale that it will kind of ease as you go along. It's a really nice sensation once you sit with it, but if you tense up and resist, it's just going to be really, really uncomfortable. And if you have your block there and it feels good, you can always just remove it. And we'll switch the legs out. If you need to, you can always window wipe it just to relief, really working into the hips. And we'll switch your legs. This side for me is the right, perhaps the other side for you. Stacking the legs over, and I can immediately feel that this side's tighter than the other side. So maybe I should have just started on the other side first. But for demonstration purposes, we'll just do one side then the other side. But in your own practice, you can always do your tight side, your less dominant, and then your tight side. Again, be with your experience. Notice if you are tensing into your postures. You may even feel it in your jaw or in your upper body. Again, use your exhale to relax. Allow that sensation to wash all over your whole body, all the way into the hips, grounding into the floor. Take another deep breath in and exhale to relax. And again, you can always, at the end of your stretch, once you're feeling a little more comfortable, bring yourself to your sort of boundary point here, your threshold, by kind of dipping down, holding your, and kind of being there for 5 breaths, not holding your breath, but being there for 5 breaths and then adding that in so you kind of reach your progression point every time. Slowly unwind, window wiper your knees from left to right, and we'll make our way onto our backs for the 5th and last exercise. We're going to move into a figure 4, so placing your heels down, place your left leg at 90 onto your left, and if this feels good, you can stay here. You can always just apply a bit of light pressure onto the leg, feeling into the outside of the hip. Otherwise, you can swim your hands through, take the hamstring or the knee. And again, you want to keep your right foot flexed, chin tucked, and hips nice and square. And you can release, switch your legs out, left foot stacks on top of the right. Again, options to just lightly press onto the hip or take the hamstring or front shin with interlaced fingers, making sure to keep your left foot flexed. It kind of just protects your knee instead of just a relaxed foot. Chin tucked, shoulders down on the floor, and breathe. And release. You can window wipe your legs from left to right, just to release the hips. And draw your knees into your chest. Give yourself a tight squeeze. Inhale, raise your forehead up towards your knees. Take a moment to send some gratitude into your body and into your self-practice. And with your next exhale, release and relax into Shavasana. Take a deep breath in. And exhale to release and let it all go. I'm going to encourage you to stay in your Shavasana just for a few more breaths than you normally would. Just give yourself a chance to soak your practice up and to integrate whatever's come up for you. Just use your exhale to release and relax into your posture. Thank you once again for putting such beautiful effort into your self-practice and into this channel. If you have any comments or questions, I'll be down below. Otherwise, I'll see you next time on your mat. Namaste.